Tony, you're on the phone now. You're live to me now, Tony, and you can communicate.
So I'm reporting to you direct from the scene of the crime.
Yes.
The council chambers.
I can see you.
And and I tell you what, yesterday was quite something else.
Okay, take us through it, mate. Start with this. There's a notice of motion from a Green councillor who... Is he the one that is the Maori ward councillor? Is that right?
No.
No.
Notice of motion was put together by Councillor Abdurrahman, Nuruddin Abdurrahman. And
say that quickly.
He's a Labour councillor from the Southern Ward,
right.
And supported by other Labour councillors, including other Labour councillors, and the four independent councillors joined in because we all agree that the sale of the airport under the terms that are in the long-term plan is wrong, and there was 9 signed a notice of motion, including, as we've talked about before, Councillor Winera, who is the Maori ward councillor, and he's from the Green Party. And as a Green Party member, as we just reiterate, he is against asset sales on principle, and he ran on that platform. But as a Maori ward councillor, he is also torn in terms that the proposal we put forward would disenfranchise the Maori vote on the airport sale, and they objected to that and threatened even to walk away from the partnership if the notice of motion was even put. And that was the context under which the meeting started.
Okay,
and,
so sitting around the table are the 16 or the 15 councillors plus the mayor to make up 16. It's it's a full council meeting, I assume. It's not a committee meeting, it's a council meeting, yeah?
It's a full council meeting. Notice of motions have to go to council.
Right. And so the 2 iwi representatives, one from, I think it's some sort of whānau, isn't it? What's it called?
No, so Ngāti Whānau and Taranaki Whānau and Ngāti Toa are the 2 iwi.
And you have those 2 iwi representatives. They sit on your committees, but they don't sit on your council. Is that right?
Well, they sit on the council, but the key thing is they don't have a vote on the council, whereas they do have a vote on the committees. And so that means, there was 7 in favour of selling the airport shares around the council table and 9 against. But at the committee, because the 2 po-iwi, which is what we call the iwi representatives, because the 2 po-iwi are in favour of selling the airport shares, it's a 9-9 split, with the chair holding the casting vote.
And the chair is Wellington Mayor Toria Whānau. The
chair of the committee is actually Labour councillor Rebecca Matthews.
Oh, okay.
So she is also in favour of the vote. So the Labour Party and the Green Party are voting on both sides of the issues. This is enormous drama, and it's from an independent point of view. We're sort of looking on from the side, from very close on the side, at these councillors who are normally in the same party, arguing opposite way. Okay.
The atmosphere in the council before it started, was it tense? Was there a public that had gathered actively supporting one side or the other?
There was an enormous number of people in the public, so much so they couldn't all fit in the room, and some others were watching it from a side room. A lot of them were from the Labour Party union members, again supporting the Labour Party side to not sell the airport shares sale as a matter of principle. They had signs up, and so including different ones like don't be a Tory and things like this. And they spoke as well at the very beginning. So we had a normal council meeting in a way, and so there's public participation. People spoke, but yes, it was tense. People were more looking at each other and talking to each other. And it was very, and looking around, and then we got into it really. We had
What about the
public
iwi
presentation.
representatives themselves? And did they speak at the open forum? Because I've seen subsequent comment, but what role did those iwi representatives play in the meeting?
Well, I think that each of the iwis have taken a different course. Taranaki Whānau came and they spoke very eloquently about, from their perspective, the damage to the relationship, the iwi partnership, that this notice of motion has generated, and that the council needs to do the right thing, so to speak. But Ngāti Taua didn't turn up at all, and I think that was almost more significant, that they weren't present at all, as if, and I don't know what the relationship is. No one knows. They had a threaten to break the Maori partnership. I certainly hope they don't do that, because they are a key part of the community and the key stakeholder. Irrespective of what you think about their influence, they're still a key part, and they're New Zealanders like everyone else. So so they weren't there at all, and that was noted by Councillor Nera in his speech.
So the other thing I'd like to ask is the two representatives, I think, I can't remember their names, but one man, one woman, were they actually present for the meeting, the two mana whenua reps?
The Liz Kelly, who's is the mana whenua rep from Ngāti Taua, was not there. But Holden Hohai, who's the Maori representative, the Poiwi from Taranaki Whānau, sat with the chief executive as he gave his speech about, as I talked about how the relationship's been damaged by all this.
Oh, so that's fascinating. So it's an absolutely critical meeting, you would have assumed. There have been threats flying around about, withdrawing from particular partnership arrangements. And yet, and this is bizarre, one of those reps doesn't turn up, and there's no explanation, as of this morning still, why she didn't?
Well, I've heard nothing more. It's silence, and I think we will. The chief executive of Ngāti Taua is Helmut Modlik, and he was the guy who debated David Seymour earlier in the week. Yeah. Same group. So they're very passionate about this partnership side of things, and they step up all the time on this. I don't know.
So
where
passionate they didn't turn up.
Well, as I say, I think it's almost more significant than turning up and saying we got it wrong. And so, because Councillor Winera is from Ngāti Taua, so he noted that his own iwi was not there at all, and it was he's really in a caught in a rock and a hard place. Look, I have to say, just to back off a little bit. Going back over the last couple of weeks, this has been a political fight. You have political fights. It's democracy.
Yeah.
But this is a political fight where the heat's been turned up to maximum, where everything has been put out there, where lines have been crossed, words have been said that really, threats have been made. It's we talked about blackmail, but I think in some cases of some members, it's pretty well like that. And some of the for some of the Labour and Green councillors, well, I think all of them actually, bringing in the Maori partnership into this whole debate has made it really, really nasty, I think. And I don't think it should have been, but that was what the key tactic was. It was notable that people who were saying we should vote against this notice of motion talked much more about the damage to the Maori partnership than the value of selling the airport shares still.
Okay. I'm also interested in your view as to what the tenor of the staff advice was beforehand, because your concern, as I remember, Tony, was that staff had got a view prior to this. They were backing the mayor essentially, and they were trying to skew the debate in some way. Was that apparent yesterday, or did they stay out of it?
On the staff side, I think, look, the staff are trying to do the right thing because it is the right thing to sell the airport and set up a diversified fund to lower the risk of it being losing value. Should we have an earthquake? I mean, the chances are that if we could have a major earthquake like happened in Christchurch, and the airport will be fine. But of course, if the airport's badly damaged, we can't sell it for the same money that we can sell it for today. And so, spreading the risk is a sensible thing, and that's what the staff advice supported. I was critical of some of it because it seemed that the goalposts or the impact of not selling had been changed. Okay, and they explained that at the meeting. They explained where their logic was, but they're very committed to doing the right thing, and you can't fault them for that. However, I also think that the consequences in terms of looking at the projects of spending too much money, I think that was done a wee bit too lightly, and so it wasn't necessarily 100% balanced. I think they were doing what they saw as their job, but I was still critical of it.